Now what happens is when that safety record hits a margin, they have what they call an intervention. When they talk to you about this intervention, what happens now is that they're going to counsel you. They're going to let you know. And then once you drop below that margin, well, driver, I don't think McDonald's is hiring right now, and I don't think you really want to work for them. But truth is that TVC is going to do everything it can to protect you, protect your family. So I recommend to you that one is you talk to your nearest TVC rep. If not, give me a call, Carmello, 817-374-5002, and let's talk about joining TVC. It's the best investment you make. And drivers, think about this. Sometimes we'll give away a few dollars to someone who needs it. We'll buy a few lottery tickets. You know, we invest in a lot of things, but the last thing we really think about is our driver's license. You know, our homes are insured, our trucks are insured, our cars are insured, but what insurance do you have right now to protect you from losing your driver's license? Your CDL license. The truth of the matter is, $48.85 is probably the cheapest investment you can make to protect your life. Drivers, if you have any questions or anything like that, give me a call. We'll get you signed up. TVC is here to help you. TVC will make it happen for you. Now we win, okay, 92% of our cases. The truth of the matter is that first 2 tickets you get, we're going to cover the attorney fees. On the 3rd ticket you get, you're going to pay a $25 fee. On the 4th ticket you get is $50 and $50 from that forward. Where else can you get an attorney? Not just to go to court for you, but to fight to save your driver's license for $48.85, if not $50. Drivers, I hope to hear from you, okay? It's been great talking to you, and call me. Let's make this happen.
Tell me some of the common problems you see that drivers have that you talk to you, because one of the things I want to do is I want to try to kind of get them to a mindset where they avoid the need for TVC. Now, we know we're not going to eliminate the need, but I still want to get them to thinking in that way.
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is, and I'm glad you asked these questions, is really to avoid it. It's like saying trying to avoid to catch the cold, trying to avoid catching the flu. Sooner or later, it's going to happen.
Right.
You know, with as many miles as you drivers put on the road, it's called the law of average. Mm-hmm. And the law of average, sooner or later, is going to get you. Okay? A lot of misconceptions out there about TVC, about driving as everything else is basically one I hear a lot is, I never get tickets.
Yeah.
You know, I understand you may not get a ticket every day, and it may be far and few in between that get tickets after so long. But you know, eventually, you're going to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, once you get that ticket, how do you handle it? What are you going to do with it? I have drivers that come in here with tickets already that have been around for years, have seen TVC for years, but never joined us. All of a sudden, they need our help. Well, you know, it gets expensive when you're not a member. Then you join and you have a ticket.
Right.
What I tell my drivers is join before it. Again, it's prevention rather than cure. Okay, and if we can prevent the situation rather than try to cure it, it makes it a lot easier for all of us. Some of the misconceptions I hear about there from drivers is TVC doesn't work. Well, you know, it's a responsibility that goes 2 ways. One, it's a responsibility on our part to represent you and to help you. It's a responsibility on your part to obey the laws and to do the things right that you need to do out there. You know, you have a CDL. A CDL makes you a professional driver. That's why you're held to a higher standard, okay? I hear a lot of talk between drivers sometimes about how basically they had a case and we couldn't help them and things like this. Most of the time, and I've always questioned these drivers, most of the times what I find these cases really, really are about is not having enough knowledge, not understanding how the system works. This is not a cure-all, and least of all, a license to break the law, okay? What this is something to help you when you find yourself in a situation that's detrimental to your career and to your driver's license. As I said, we can win 92% of our cases. The laws are changing, and we're adjusting to those changes. But the truth of the matter is that the driver himself needs to educate himself on what's happening out on the road. I talked to drivers today about CSA 2010, and they have no idea, no concept. And I'm not a driver, okay? I represent drivers. But yet I have more knowledge about it than they do because I educate myself. I try to find out what affects my drivers because that's my industry, my drivers. And at the same time, you again have a responsibility to kind of understand what happens to you. I'm going to give you some examples. You run the scale house. Well, there's no excuse. You know, you ran the scale house. Does the law not say you have to stop at a scale house? You know, it really does. Now what happens is you run a scale house, you come to us, you want our help, all of a sudden we tell you you have an attorney fee. That happens to not be a covered case. Running a scale house is not a covered case. We give you a attorney provider service at 25% discount, which basically means you're going to have to fight that ticket. And in some cases, by the grace of God, we may win that case. We may defer it to something else, to an equipment violation, a logbook violation, something that isn't as detrimental. But bottom line is, in some of those cases, there is no relief. And if there's no relief, all of a sudden, TVC is a bad thing. We are not an excuse to break the law. We do not give you a get-out-of-jail card free, okay? You know, it's like trying to buy truck insurance so that you can go out and wreck your truck.
Yeah.
You know, the thing you buy truck insurance is to protect you against those things that happen that you were trying to prevent.
Right.
Okay, but it doesn't give you, TVC doesn't give you the freedom to go out there and all of a sudden, like you said, become a renegade and you want to run false logbooks, you want to break the laws, you want to do everything you can. Then when you get caught, you expect relief. You know, granted, in some cases we can help you, and it's simply because that's the way the chips fall. But it doesn't mean that you go out there and break this law. Okay? It means that you have a responsibility just like we have one. You have a responsibility to obey those laws because you have a CDL. You're a professional driver. What we do is try in every way to help negotiate that infraction to a lesser infraction so it doesn't affect you detrimentally. Your CDL is your livelihood. You lose your CDL, what are you going to do? Especially if you've been on the road for a while. You know, I really don't think you're going to work at McDonald's, you know, and no offense to McDonald's, but drivers that I find have been on the road for a long time, they're used to that type of lifestyle. They don't want to have to work at a restaurant or anywhere else, and some of them can't do it. So what's the best thing you do? Protect your license. Again, it's not like buying health insurance to intentionally make yourself sick. You buy the health insurance to protect you if you do get sick. TVC is to protect you against the things that can happen to you, especially with laws changing the way they are. And again, I'm going to tell you, and in case you didn't know it, and if it's a surprise, you really scare me, is tickets are big business. They are income for the county, the city, the state. Okay? What does that mean? That basically means that they're going to pay their people. They're going to pay their fire people. They're going to pay their policemen. They're going to pay all these people. And where are they going to generate that income from? A big portion of it is going to be generated from citations. You ever ask yourself, what's a local city policeman doing on the highway? Isn't a highway for highway patrolmen? Well, if he's local city, I bet you he's within the city's jurisdiction. Okay? And of course you have the highway patrol. You have constables out there, you know, writing tickets. And to be honest with you, a constable is a process server. Now, I'm not trying to act like a lawyer because I'm not, but what I am telling you is that the system is basically designed for us to fail to a point. So we have to do everything we can to protect not only ourselves, not only our vehicles, not only the third parties, but our driver's license so that we can continue to make a living. And that means that basically we need to obey the laws, we need to follow the laws, and when we do happen to become a statistic and we get that ticket, that citation, whatever it is, that we have something that we can fall back on and feel good about it. Again, it's only $48.85. We have a $31.90 plan, which we can tell you about, okay? But most drivers prefer the $48.85. They don't have to send any money. So I'll ask you, give me a call. Talk to me. Let me know. And if not, see your nearest TVC rep.